Where the church office used to be, there was a place behind which many homeless people liked to shelter at night, and so they got talking to those people and discovering the difficulties, the particular difficulties in Stamford.
I work for St George's Church, overseeing their Fresh Hope ministry, which is their outreach ministry into the community. I think Stamford is very difficult for people because it is a very affluent area. And so, although it might appear affluent and appear very wealthy, and some areas of it are, it means that the rental prices are just vast. They're huge. And so people cannot afford private rent. And the housing benefit just doesn't begin to cover the cost of private rental. And then you're in the council housing system and there is a long wait. And if you are not a priority need, you could be on that for a very long time before you can even get into that. And then people get into debt and they get into housing arrears. On a Friday, we have a cafe called Friday Connect. Essentially, it's just a safe place that people can come. They get free coffee, they get free cake, and at the same time they meet with staff who, we've got some people who are very skilled in mental health, some who are skilled with the benefit system, people who can help them with housing, people who can help signpost them to other places. So there's a large staff team with different skills. Might be the homeless, might be people with housing issues. We've had someone standing here with an eviction notice in their hand, but they couldn't actually read it because they were illiterate.
Hope Interaction's strapline says enabling churches to house the homeless. So it's an organisation that provides expertise which enables churches to befriend homeless people and to provide a home for them. So they have investors who buy houses on behalf of them, who are giving the houses to be used by Hope Interaction, and then the church provides befrienders for the people who live in the houses, and Hope Interaction provides the expertise in order to help those people work towards, from a position of being homeless, towards being more independent. One of our tenants, for example, was thrown out of his home. He was still a teenager. His mother had a lot of problems, was provided with a tent and a sleeping bag, and used to come and call in the church office regularly for bacon sandwiches. And then when the Hope Interaction House was being set up, he was interviewed as a potential tenant. It's just amazing how much he's moved forward. He's gone from having his life just being in chaos, living out on the street, getting his tent burnt down, and he's now got a full-time job, which is amazing.
St George's wants to be good news in our community. We want to show the love of Jesus to people, and this is one very practical way that we can do it. It's being salt and light in our community, making a difference.
There's a lot of rich and wealthy in this church, but they are really doing the work that Jesus said to do. They really are feeding the hungry and providing shelter for the wanderer and clothing the naked and serving the poor.
On average, the housing rents have gone up by £200 to £250 per month. That has created a situation whereby a lot of people in Stamford can no longer afford private rentals, so they're having to rely on local government for housing. My landlord decided that they wanted me out of the property so that they can either put the rent up or decide whether or not they're going to sell the property. This forced me into a position where I was forced to reapply to the council for housing. Before September, I was notified that I had 1 month to vacate the property or face eviction. The church have been invaluable in helping me with moral support and emotional support. They've help me to manage my financial accounts and make sure that everything that needs to be paid is being paid. Members of the church groups help me to fill out all the application forms, which there are myriad. The church is very much a personal thing. It's very much one-on-one in regards to making sure that people who need help and support get that individual one-on-one support they need. I'm very grateful to the church.
In the church there's been a desire to help. People just didn't know how to do it. And I think having a particular member of staff who had a real heart for people in need started to just open up the life of the church by bringing people. He would go out looking for them. He was literally out looking for lost sheep at night. He'd be finding 5 or 6 homeless people in an evening, and then he'd be helping them the next day. So we were kind of landed with these people on our doorstep, but because there was a real heart of compassion in one person, and then that just multiplied out because other people got behind it.